So Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp continues, I guess you could say. Aquaman 2 producer has come out exclusively to Deadline and revealed that Amber Heard was never going to be fired. Interesting, isn't it? It's interesting how they have set a precedent in the past for certain events, Warner Brothers, and then when it comes to this individual, that's not going to happen. We do not want to do that. But I guess this is actually not just the Warner Brothers issue, it's a producer issue. And I want to look at this from two different angles, the playing devil's advocate and then obviously on the offensive side. I think this will be interesting to look at the polarizing opinion on this. So we'll dive into this today. Before we do, guys, I actually have a PO box open. Now, you asked for it, so I did it. You'll find it linked in the description box. When things start coming through, if you guys want to send me anything, I'm going to be doing a mailbag. So even send me a letter, send stuff for good old Jasper, although you can barely see him there. But that would be great. It's in the description box, along with memberships and Patreon, as well as my second channel. But let's dive into this today, shall we? So, like I say, an exclusive to Deadline. So, that's the source. They were on a podcast. And they say an Aquaman sequel without Amber Heard was never, ever an option. I don't know why I find that so humorous, but just the fact that they put the ever in there almost seems, I don't know, infantile. I don't know why, but it does. Today on the Deadline Hero Nation podcast, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom producer Peter Safran was asked whether the social media campaign by Johnny Depp fans for Amber Heard's removal from the DC sequel ever had any influence on the production and their casting decision. Now, I will say this. They've got some balls to ask the producer this. I think that, commend Deadline for this because that's quite a surprising question to ask. It could have been pre-scripted. The producer could have been asked, or producer could have asked to have been asked this. But their response was interesting. I don't think we're ever going to react to, honestly, pure fan pressure. Okay? Said Safran, whose James Gunn The Suicide Squad movie hits theatres and HBO Max on August 6th. I need to watch that and do a review for you guys. You got to do what's best for the movie, he says. We felt that if it's James Wan and Jason Momoa, it should be Amber Heard. That's really what it was. Furthermore, he continued and says, One is not unaware of what is going on in the Twitterverse, but that doesn't mean you have to react to it or take it as gospel or accede to their wishes. You have to do what's right for the film, and that's really where we landed on it. So, two ways of looking at this. Warner Brothers has set a very clear precedent for removal of actors, whether it be the best thing for the film or not. They have set a precedent for removal of actors, which I do find it quite interesting that then they chose not to do it for Amber Heard, especially when there was so much evidence for it. And not only that, they removed Johnny Depp. I believe they removed him pre Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp trial. They removed him for the trial of him versus the Sun, I believe, if I remember correctly. So it is interesting because it almost seems like they've jumped the gun. I would say so anyway, because what if then Warner Brothers, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp then go to court in the US for their suit against one another? I think it wasn't a defamation suit. I think it was for loss of earnings or something like that. And then Amber Heard loses. She gets found out. Well, Warner Brothers have painted themselves into a corner at that point where they must then remove Amber Heard. Surely, by their own precedent, they've set the standard. Obviously, that would never happen. But it's interesting, isn't it, that then they choose not to. And the actual reason given is a good one. Let's not beat around the bush here. We want to make the best film possible. She's an actress, so let's make the best film possible. They obviously, in their reasoning anyway, they believe Amber Heard is the best person for the role. Therefore, they don't want to shake that up, but they want to keep her on board. Now, I think actually the truth is somewhere in the middle. I think potentially they would have actually removed her. I don't think they would have looked at that as the best thing for the movie in terms of keeping her on, because it has been bad PR. But I think the truth lies somewhere in the middle on all of this, and I think the truth will be a perspective of money. Money. Lord it will all be to do with the contracts that Amber Heard had signed, i.e., you're signed on for this many sequels. We want you for this many movies, right? Because this one was announced pretty quickly after Aquaman, if not before it was released. I can't remember whether they jumped the gun on this one. But if that is the case, contracts would have been signed, and then Warner Brothers would be in breach of that contract and would have to pay more money out in the long run than just her basic fee. Which wouldn't be that much, let's face it. She's not a very good actress. So like I say, very interesting. I do believe, anyway, Warner Brothers have painted themselves into a corner. But it's also heavily down to the producers of the film. The money men, the people that are putting up finance, the financiers, basically. If they don't want someone on board, they're not on board. If they do want someone on board, they have sway. They'll keep someone on board. So it's not necessarily just down to Warner Brothers. Now, the article continues. It says, on June 28th, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom filmmaker James Wan announced on Instagram that production was underway on the sequel to the record 1.1 billion grossing top DC movie of all time. Isn't that funny? Aquaman was the top grossing of all time. That's baffling. This reignited the Justice for Johnny Depp crew on Twitter again. The call for Heard's dismissal from Aquaman 2 by Depp fans began after the formerly married duo lobbed explosive accusations of domestic violence at one another in the Pirates of the Caribbean star's UK libel trial against the Sun. The court dismissed Depp's claim, ruling in favour of the Sun's allegations against the actor. And again, remember, it's just a libel claim. It's not the same as what Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard is going to be. It's a different kettle of fish. That'll be really fascinating. Following the Sun verdict, Warner Brothers axed Depp from the third Fantastic Beasts movie, with Mads Mikkelsen taking over the role of Dark Wizard. Isn't it Geralt, not Gellert? Maybe I'm wrong. Oh no, it's Geralt of Rivia. Jesus. I'm not a Harry Potter fan. Sorry, ladies and gents. Gellert Grindelwald. In a November interview with EW, Heard addressed the protest against her by Depp fans by saying, paid rumours, of course, ladies and gents, paid rumours, and paid campaigns on social media don't dictate casting decisions because they have no basis in reality. Only the fans actually made Aquaman and Aquaman 2 happen. I'm excited to get started next year. Fascinating. Utterly fascinating. The former Rum Diary co-stars and married couple are embroiled in further legal disputes on the side of the Atlantic in a $15 million defamation suit. So it was a defamation suit. I forget which one it was. Because I swear it's for loss of earnings. I swear it's for loss of earnings. I could be wrong. But there you go, ladies and gents. Apparently, there was never a debate. But that's so wrong. There would have been a debate on this. I think the truth lies somewhere in the middle, i.e., it probably would have ended up costing Warner Brothers and producers a little bit more money. And it's all about their bottom line. They're a business at the end of the day. But let me know what you think down below. I know a lot of people will be outraged by this. But please do drop your thoughts down below. If you stayed this long and you're new here, please do hit subscribe because you clearly enjoyed the video. Hit that like button on your way out and do share it. Thank you all so much. Take care.